Okay, thanks for joining us today. My name is Tim Begonis. I'm the CMO here at D-Tools, and I've got Doug Greenwald with me, who's the CEO of ProjX360. And we want to thank you today for joining us for our webinar on how to increase your operational efficiency with D-Tools and ProjX360. Some basics, if this is the first time joining us for a webinar, it's very simple. We'll present, we'll show our combined integration, and along the way, if you have questions, there's a questions tab. Go ahead and enter your questions in the questions pane. We will reserve some time at the end to answer the questions, so feel free to use the questions log to enter your questions as we go, and we'll get to them as we can. To increase your viewing space on the screen, you can click the little tab on the right-hand corner, and that will give you more real estate for your screen. So what we'll cover today is we're going to do an overview of D-Tools SI and ProjX360, talk a little bit about how we help our clients improve their business processes. We'll cover some common pain points that we often hear as we're talking to potential clients and integrators. We'll talk a little bit about best practices in terms of our two solutions working together, and then we'll provide a high-level demonstration of the integrated solution. And again, we'll be able to answer some questions and answers along the way. We will be recording this webinar, so it will be made available later after the recording, and we'll send out a link to the recording after the webinar. Okay, a little bit about D-Tools. We've been in the market since 1998. Adam Stone, our founder, was a system integrator and really pioneered a way to really tie project documentation to drawings. And he created this process really by adding data to Visio and realized that he had a really good workable solution that could benefit other integrators, and hence D-Tools was born. We debuted at CEDIA back in 1998, and we've grown to over 5,000 customers in over 87 countries. We primarily serve the commercial and residential AV markets. We also have many customers in higher ed, IT, and security. We put a lot of effort into developing the platform. It's been accepted by the market. We've won a number of awards just really in the past 12 months. And we have a long tenured leadership team. We've been together as an executive team for well over a decade. We're a Microsoft Silver certified ISV, as well as an authorized Autodesk and QuickBooks developer. And really what our solution does is it ties together the three main areas of a project, from estimation through system design, through project management and back office. And what this really means is we are a data-driven solution where product data informs all the rest of the project, which means we can track time to install, we can track labor, cost, pricing, and as you're building a project in our solution, we're tracking the time, we're tracking the amount of labor it's going to take to install the system, and as you're adding things to your project, you're essentially building a bill of materials. From this bill of materials, all project documentation can be generated. So we can generate very accurate proposals, we can generate very detailed client-facing documentation, scope of work, contracts, and then this information can be sent directly to your clients so they can review, they can comment, they can approve and create e-signatures for the documentation. And then that same information can be leveraged to generate very detailed engineering drawings. So we integrate directly with Visio and AutoCAD, and from this integration, we're able to take that project information and generate very detailed engineered drawings. So we can do elevations, we can do plan views, we can do line diagrams, and then we can do schematics. And each drawing page represents the data in the job visually. So you can do very detailed point-to-point connections, and from those drawings, generate documentation such as wire schedules, wire checklists, even generate wire labels for the entire project. Likewise, that project information can be leveraged to generate purchase orders, to order equipment, to generate work orders and service orders so that your install teams are in sync. And then we integrate directly with a number of systems, QuickBooks for accounting, as we're going to show you today, ProjX360 for projects, for project management, for purchasing, for back office. And we have a number of mobile apps as well. Mobile install to help you schedule out your install tasks to the field, mobile quote, which is a way for you to quickly get scope and budget and bring that back into details, and our new customer portal, which allows you to publish all project documentation to the web. And now I'm going to introduce Doug, and he's going to talk a bit about ProjX360.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. A little bit about ProjX360. We're a little bit newer to the game. Myself, as founder of ProjX360, I am a system integrator also, so I do currently own integration company myself. We're a pretty good size restaurant dealer in the Phoenix, Arizona area. Basically, ProjX360 came about from my own need of looking for a nice cloud-based project management software that was geared really towards our industry. There's a lot of different project management softwares out there, but they're trying to be kind of, jack of all trade, applying to a bunch of different industries, where our core is the custom integration industry, just like D-Tools, with the residential and commercial side of it. So we're here to be partners with you guys. We debuted at CEDIA in 2015. And been growing quickly ever since. We have over 1,000 licenses in use worldwide. We are completely cloud-based, so you have access, or your team has access to anything, anywhere. Our system is built in what we call a responsive design platform. So what that means to you is it does auto format for whatever device you're viewing it on, whether it's a tablet, a computer, or a phone. And we do also have apps for both Apple and Android. We have integrations with people such as D-Tools, but also QuickBooks Online and Xero for the accounting softwares. And we're also integrated with Portal to bring in products and utilize Portal's great product database. A little more about us, so a little bit about the platform. Really, we're designing the system to help you as an integrator manage your project from start to finish. So we have a full sales CRM where you can start tracking your sales pipeline and your individual salespeople's pipeline, so you know what everybody's working on, what's coming down the road, besides just what's going on currently, to help you with your forecasting and everything like that. We have a lot of different custom settings in the sales CRM to really customize it to yourself. For instance, you can create, the sources of where your leads are coming from, whether they're from builders, architects, designers, or advertising campaigns. A lot of detailed sales reporting to see what your pipeline is, by that source or by the salesperson. You can easily see any associated records with your clients, such as projects, proposals, work orders, or invoices. Your sales team can create sales activities during the sales process, and when there's any activity on that certain day, they will get an automated email called the Daily Rundown that will give them a list of their agenda for that day, so things don't fall through the cracks. You can also create activity templates. So if there's a certain sales process that you want you and your team to follow, you can create that too. Then once the project, the lead progresses, you can either create you can create proposals and purchase orders, move it into the project management side of things. As you'll see in this demonstration, When it's ready to create a proposal, you'll be able to push that information up into D-Tools to create your proposal, which is really nice. So there's no duplicate entry that you'll see in this demonstration that we're going to do for you today. And then also, after the sales process is done, you can have the option to push it back into ProjX360 and do all the project management. And you can do project work orders, service work orders. We have time tracking. Our scheduling is broken out in 2 sections, both project, service. You can also view employees and sales scheduling. So it really streamlines the views and makes it easy for scheduling. You're able to create custom checklists and forms in our software. So any kind of documentation. So if there's a certain, templated checklist of all your pre-wires or trims or finals that you want your guys to follow of certain steps to make them successful, you can create those once and then just decide what projects they get added to. And same thing with the custom forms. You'll be able to, create any kind of custom forms for any documentation for those particular projects. Like, for instance, the client's network information, so their router information, maybe their client services, their internet provider, their television provider, other services. You can create an I/O sheet to see what's in the different processor COM ports and so forth. It's just unlimited to what you can do for that. We also have full file management, so any kind of documentation that needs to be uploaded to the project that pertains to the project, such as drawings, system programs, anything like that, photos, can all be stored in the cloud with us. We have full invoicing, and also for service tickets, we have a service repair tracking ticket you can create, and we can set it up that it sends you a reminder after a certain amount of time that if you don't have that product back, that it sends you an alert to follow up with it. So really, again, we're really trying to streamline the process from start to finish for you guys.
Great, thanks, Doug. All right, so some common pain points that we hear from many many integrators really are systematic in terms of process and scale. So as part of everyone's workflow, there's many different ways that people are working. Some people work in just Excel. Some people work and do proposals through QuickBooks, or they've got their own homegrown system. And there's really not a complete standard. And what this really leads to is inconsistency or errors when it comes to communicating with the client, communicating with internal teams. With nothing connected or nothing consistent, it really increases the probability of errors and omissions. So you may miss something. You may miss something on the proposal that you forget to charge the client, or you may forget a critical piece of information when communicating to the engineering and install teams. So really, it's this disconnected process that really causes, productivity dips, and most importantly, lack of profitability. When there's errors and omissions, things get missed. It costs money. It costs time. It costs money. And by having manual processes in different silos throughout the organization, it really prevents a company from scaling to meet the needs of more and either bigger projects or more clients. So it really is limiting in terms of preventing company growth. So this is something that Doug and I, our teams see this and experience this every day when we're having communication with potential customers, partners, and other integrators.
Yeah, so we're really trying to bring that all together with this integration. So like Tim said, it's not siloed in all these different kind of software platforms.
Yeah, and the great thing that we've found as we've worked through this integration is that the two systems work very, very well together, and it provides our clients with some options. So having a tight integration between our solutions, it enables different types of team members to work together. Project 360's CRM capabilities are a great complement to D-Tools proposal creation, as you can start the process within Project 360. The salespeople can kind of track their sales process, and when it's ready to become a proposal, they have the option of starting that proposal in Project 360 and pushing it to D-Tools, or just deciding I'm going to do this project in D-Tools, and it flows right from there. The integration really enables us to keep client, project, and product information consistent and together between the platforms. So if something happens over in one system, it seamlessly is available to the other system, which really reduces the probability of errors and omissions.
And also with the communication between all your different team members out in the field, by having these different options, again, like Tim was saying, we have communication inside your organization then of the entire project, no matter what it is. They can see from the start of what's been done all the way into the current position that project is in, or current state that project is in. So they can see anything that's been, communication wise, like discussions that have come forth, work orders, what the original proposals were, any change orders that have been done. So all that is really a seamless communication between us. And it also ensures that everybody is focused on their area of expertise and gets the job done properly.
Yeah, and really, as we're working together, we're going to learn how much better the systems can work together. So today's integration is really just our initial integration, and as we continue to work together, we're going to be able to add new areas and have the systems work together even closer as we move forward. So we're both looking to continuously improve, which really will provide a growable, scalable solution to our joint customers. So some of the best practices that we're starting to understand as part of the integration, we're just going to kind of detail a little bit about the workflow, and then we'll jump into a demo.
Yeah, so kind of how how the software the integration was kind of designed is, like Tim was saying earlier, you can start your sales process for your client prospecting and all that kind of stuff in Projects 360, get all the client information entered into Projects 360. As you're looking at an opportunity, before it gets to the proposal part, you can keep track of all the activities, all the, pre-sales information. You can add notes in our CRM. But then when you're at that point, you'll be able to, and you'll see in the demonstration, push that client information right into D-Tool.
And once that information's there, so the client, the address, any other additional information about that job, then depending on who's doing the proposal, so sometimes the salesperson may start the opportunity, may get it to a point where it's ready to be engineered, or you have more of a detailed proposal. That comes into D-Tools, and then you would work like you would normally work within our system, which is to generate a project, to start building a proposal, generate drawings, documentation, get that project through to approval. And then you have options to then work within D-Tools or push that project back out to Projects 360.
Yeah, and if you do push it back, when you push it back out to Projects 360 and stuff, it'll import it into our proposal section of our software. You can then create purchase orders in either one. Again, you can choose if it's going to be D-Tools or Projects 360, but you can create a project then, and start moving through the project management and progression stages of that job, from the rough-in to the trim through the final and all the way into the sales process. With that, you can also get into all your scheduling, do all your scheduling, and again, you have a choice. You can do it in D-Tools or you can do it in Projects 360. But you have a choice to do all the scheduling there and work through all the tasks. And then, you know, all the completed work orders and everything can be, you know, exported into QuickBooks from D-Tools if you're using D-Tools work orders for that. And any invoicing done in projects can be exported out to QuickBooks Online.
Yeah, so the great thing here is that if you're working in the desktop, you know, D-Tools has a very tight integration with QuickBooks Desktop as well as QuickBooks Online, and ProjX360 has a very tight integration with QuickBooks Online. So you know, the idea here is it's not either or. It really is a complementary way for companies to work. And whether you want to work in the cloud or on the desktop or both, it really provides a seamless workflow for your organization. And with that, I'm going to toss it over to Doug we'll start the demo and we'll show how this comes together.
Great. So let me show my screen here. So where you're going to start out with first, I just want to kind of show you where the integration is in ProjX360. So if you go to your menu down to the integration side, you can click on that and you'll see the D-Tools integration. And what we're integrated, like we mentioned, is products and proposals. And we'll get into that in a little detail. When you do grab your API key from D-Tools, which Tim will show you in a second, where you're going to place that is under project settings, under site configuration, and then scroll down to integration API configuration and expand that, and you'll see the D-Tools API key where you can paste it and then just save that information. So like we were talking about, kind of that workflow. So in our sales CRM, you can basically, you know, create your pipeline and all that kind of stuff. So as you enter leads into our CRM, how our CRM is set up, it's set up by people and companies. Mostly everything really evolves around a person because you do have a contact person around a company. And then what we call opportunities are deals. So you'll go into the CRM, you'll add your contact person. So how to add a contact person, just click the plus symbol up here. You'll fill in all the contact information here, all the vitals, name, address, phone number. If there is a company associated with this person, you can add it from your existing companies or add a new company. You can select then who your salesperson is. Like I mentioned, you can create different sources of where this opportunity or this lead came from, and you can create those here, whether they're builders or developers or architects, whatever it may be. You can create different statuses, you know, is it hot, warm, cold? You can create different tags for them. You can also create custom fields. So any additional information you want to have your team gather about that, you can do so. Then you'll save it, and then that client will be in the client database. So if we also have a nice search feature throughout our CRM. So if you just start typing the person's name, it'll narrow down the search. You can click on that person. And again, here's all the vitals and everything. But over here, you can see the deals. Remember, we said deals are opportunities. So how you can add a deal is simply by hitting the plus symbol right here. And again, you're going to give the deal a name. And I always suggest, you know, coming up with some kind of naming scheme that works for your company the best. You know, what I do in my own integration company, I always start with the last name of the client. And if it's a common last name, I'll do comma first name and then what it is. Like in this case, I did, you know, Cunningham Home Theater. But then you can put in what you feel the value of that deal is, your expected close date. You can give it a potential chance to close, and all that kind of stuff. So you can save that, and that'll kind of build this deal opportunity. So you can see what your projected value of that deal is, what your expected close date, and you can run a report also by expected close date. So you can see what's in your pipeline by expected close date. So you can see what's expected to close the month of August, and see if you stay on that track. You can see how long it's been aging. You can create custom fields for deals. You can add notes. And any documentation that needs to be added. But say you're working this and now you're ready to actually create your DTools proposal. You'll simply go to create proposal and go to DTools and push it up. It'll ask you, gives you the title of it, like this is the Cunningham Home Theater. You can choose between the deal address or the client address because those can be different. And then just simply create DTools project, and it'll tell you now it has been pushed to DTools. You can now import that into SI. So I'm going to kind of turn it back over to Tim, and he's going to show you how that works in DTools.
All right. Thanks, Doug. I'll make myself the presenter. All right, so I'm over here in DTools, and I'm going to show you very quickly how to get your API key. So we'll go to our control panel.
Did you show your screen, Tim?
I believe I am. There we go. All right, so I'm in my control panel, and I've got Manage Integrations. And I'm going to look over here, and ProjX360 is one of my integrations. I can view my API key, and this is what's going to be sent over to ProjX360 to activate the integration. Okay. So if I come into DTools and I have my projects view, this is a list of all my projects, where they sit. I can manage statuses, see what's complete, see what's in the pipeline as well. But when I go to my integrations tab, I have the ability now to import an integration, and now you're going to see that from ProjX360, Bob Cunningham, I've got the Cunningham Home Theater, and I'm going to just go ahead and import this project. And now what's going to happen is it's creating a file, a project file in DTools. Now, if I had any project items, if I had started this proposal in ProjX360, I could decide to take those products and import them along with the project. In this case, we didn't start it there, so there'll be no products to import. But it allows you to, start something in ProjX360, and if you decide you want to finish it up into DTools, that works as well. So what we have here now is a project, and if we go to the project information, we're going to see that we have the client information, our addresses in there, our contacts are in there. So that all came over from ProjX360. Now, if I wanted to do something like add a scope of work, I could go ahead, and DTools provides you the ability to type in scope of work or to be able to add snippets of information. So in this case, let's say I'm going to do some wiring. So I'll add that as part of a scope of work, and then maybe project power management and monitoring, and I'll import those. So this is going to be our scope of work, and we can save that, and now that will be part of the project. The next thing I want to do very quickly is add locations and systems, because this really gives you a way to organize the information within a DTools project. So in this case, I'm going to say a main location. We'll say the main home. And then if I wanted to, DTools gives you the ability to add sublocations. So I can go from a predetermined list. In this case, we're going to do the great room and the den. Or I can create my own sublocations. And you can go multiple levels. So if it's a larger job, you could go building, floor, room, rack. You can go very deep. But what this gives me is a way to organize where the equipment's going to be. I could also do a scope of work by location as well. So I've got my locations. Now I want to assign systems. And again, this is a way for DTools to organize what type of information, what type of products are going to be added to a particular project, so that when we're running documentation, we can say, show me everything assigned to the AV system, show me everything assigned to the IT system, etc. So now that I have my locations and systems, let's go ahead and we'll add some products, and I'll just show you how we can quickly build a quick proposal and then send it back to ProjX360. So I have my locations selected, I have my systems selected, so now I can come to my catalog and I can just start adding products. So in this case, let's add some speakers. And I can select multiple locations and then assign them to a system. So in this case, I'm going to say I want to add 2 of these speakers to the room. And DTools allows you to set up your catalog to account for accessories, either required accessories or optional accessories. This helps with what we were talking about earlier in terms of errors and omissions. I want to make sure that I've got the mount and I've got some speaker cable as accessories. So I'll go ahead and add those. And when it comes to wire, I have the ability to specify the length of the run, assign terminals if I wish, and assign the head end. Where is it going? So I'm going to say it's audio in this case. And then when I assign this and I close this window, you're going to see that I've now added 2 speakers, the mounts, and wire and cable to each room. So I'm starting to build out my proposal. And then let's just say in the great room, we're going to add a television. So I can also come to my catalog this way, and I'll type in TV, and I'll say I want this 85-inch, and I can just drag that over. And again, it's going to prompt me which mount do I want, and I'm going to say I want this chief right here. And so now what I've done is I've added a television, a mount, and I've actually added an HDMI cable. That was a required accessory. It didn't even prompt me. It just made sure that I didn't forget the wire. All right, so I'm building my project. I can go ahead now and decide if I want to generate a proposal. I've got a running total here. I'll go ahead and generate a proposal. And we have a number of templates that ship with the solution. Out of the box, many templates, a way to customize your reports. We also have a number of templates that you can download from our website. And we have a full report designer so that you can generate your own custom reports. In this case, we're just going to take a proposal. We're going to divide it by location. This would be the customer information that came over from ProjX360, the title of the project. This would be our information. And as we're walking through, we've got what's in the den, what's in the great room, a subtotal, a place for the customer to sign. If we wish, we could publish this out to our customer portal, allow our clients to log in from any web-enabled device, review the proposal, make comments, approve it, provide an e-signature, and many ways for you to publish. So we've got our proposal. If I was going to do any drawings, I could also generate my drawings directly from this bill of materials. We integrate with Visio and AutoCAD to do the drawings. But in this case, let's just save it. And we'll close this. And now when I'm back in my project's view, we see now we've got our total here for the project. I'm going to click my integrations tab. And I'm going to go ahead and now I can export this out to ProjX360. So when I go ahead and export it, it's going to say, all right, this has now been sent directly over to ProjX360. So now I can toss it back to Doug.
Actually, Tim, before you toss it back, why don't you export some product too so we can show the export of product? So instead of going back and forth a bunch of times.
Ah, very good. That's right. So in addition to project information, I could select any one of these projects and push that over. But we also can, from our catalog, from the DTools catalog, I can determine what products I want to send over to ProjX360. So in this case, let's look at Origin 360 again, because I know I've just added these to my DTools catalog. I can select any number of products here. And I'll just go ahead and say I'll take this one and these. And the same thing, I've got an integrations tab up here, and I can export these. And again, it's going to say, ask me for a name. 36. And I could give it a description, or again, I could use the scope of work snippets. In this case, I'll just leave it blank. I'll hit next, and it's going to say, where do you want to send these products? And I'm going to send them directly to ProjX360. And just like the project information, now these products have been exported over to ProjX360, and now I can pass it over to Doug, and he can show you what happens.
Great.
Over there.
Let me show my screen here. So yeah, so now that that's been pushed over to us, again, you're going to go back over to that integration section over on the menu bar. Click on it. And let's start with the proposal first that Tim pushed over. So we're going to go down and select proposals. It'll show all the available proposals that have been exported from D-Tools that you haven't imported yet. In this case, there is just one, this Cunningham Home Theater. And I'm going to click on pull down from D-Tools. And it's going to, if there's any other phases that aren't in projects, or if the price is different, it's going to show you here. Like for instance, I don't have a rough-in phase, so but I'm going to add it. Hit continue, and now it just brought all that information, that proposal, into ProjX360. So that scope of work that Tim put in there. Obviously, all the client information is up here on the top, but here's that scope of work. Down below, I'm going to show more than 10 lines. You can see the whole entire proposal, the manufacturer, the model, the description, MSRP cost, the location, and the system all have been exported into ProjX360. And now from here, you can easily go under actions and create a project. So you'll the system will ask you who your project manager is. You'll select who the project manager is. The status, is this a project that's in top priority, going on this week? Is this 2 weeks out? Or is it maybe between a pre-wire and a trim, which would be in progress? Whatever you want, you select it. You'll hit create a project. What it then did, it created that project, and now it sent that project manager an email notification that that project has been created. And now you're going to want to push all the product over there. So you're going to hit push product. Again, here's that entire proposal and quantities of everything. So I'm going to select all, because I'm going to push all that over. I'm going to hit next. It's going to give you a summary here. So summarize all the products. Here's all those labor phases and labor hours that were brought over from D-Tools. Make sure all that's right, and you can just say save products. And then basically now we're in the project builder tool. You'll simply just grab who your designer is, and here's the process to start building the project. Some important dates that you may have, any associated trades you want to do with this, you can enter all them in here. Remember I mentioned to you that you can do custom checklists and forms in our software, so you can select any kind of checklist that you want from your checklist library that pertain to this project. Same thing with forms. Any custom forms that you want to be part of this project, and just hit save. And then you can go right back into project. And now this is our project details page, is what we call it. Everything's in our project management side of the software now. This is the dashboard for this project. You can see the proposal here without pricing. So everything came over by location and everything. It's the whole proposal without pricing, so the installers can see that. All those labor phases and labor hour budgets have been brought over into our time tracking. So now you can actually track time live against what was bid versus actual. So you'll see immediately if a phase is going over budget or not. And then in here, again, like I mentioned, you can create invoices, work orders, tasks. And if you create a task in our software, it does send an email notification to the person that the task was created, and you can get an email response once it's marked completed. You can create discussions with a group of people, and you can reply to the discussions. Those checklists are right here. So you have all those checklists, and the guys can easily update the checklists live in the field as they complete things. And it does stamp who completed that, and updates the percentage of completion of that checklist automatically. Same thing with any kind of attachments, any documentation you need to put along with this project, documents or anything like that can all be done here. And those custom forms are right here. So any of that information you want to enter related to the system design or anything, it can all be done right here. And so that's kind of the project side of it. So let's kind of go back to that integrations tab and bring in the product that Tim pushed over from D-Tools. So now I'm on products here. I'm going to go pull down from D-Tools. It's going to pull down all the products that haven't been sunk since the last time. So in this case, there were 6 of them. So I'm going to go to my product manager then and go, it was Origin that he sent over. So if I can spell Origin. Let's do a bigger view here. Find the Origin that he sent over. Oh, right down here. So Origin Acoustics. So what it put over, because I didn't have any Origin Acoustics in my software, basically you can see the brand, the model, the description, the part number, the category, the subcategory, all the phase, the labor hours associated with it, the cost, and the MSRP. So everything just came over automatically into our project database. And then if you want to add accessories, stuff like that, you can add accessories to this product inside our database also. So that kind of really sums up. It's a good, easy way to get your D-Tools database over to our system if you want to, quickly and easily. And you can do it in sections like Tim showed you. You don't have to do everything at once to do that. So that's kind of the gist of the integration on everything. I'm going to kind of pass it back to Tim.
Okay, so really, this is the first iteration of our integration, and right now we're really focused on generating the proposal and sending it over. We have some time for Q&A, and so I've got a number of questions that people have started to give us, so thank you very much. I'll start reading them, and we'll answer the ones we can.